Welcome to Smoky Ribs Barbecue. I'm Russ Jones. In today's video, we are making a Philly cheesesteak bratwurst. This is the first video of a video series. We're going to be doing sausages pretty much all fall long, and from there we're going into some beef jerky. I hope y'all enjoy it. We're going to get started right now. Alright, to start this, we've got pork and we've got beef. This is a boneless pork shoulder, and this is a rump roast beef. Now you can use chuck roast, rump roast, really any kind of beef. And I'm going with like 3 pounds pork and 2 pounds beef. This is a Philly cheesesteak brat, so that's the reason I'm going with beef. A couple of years ago, I did an authentic German style recipe for bratwurst, and I used veal and pork in that video, and that was really good stuff. But I like to go with beef on this. You could go all pork if you wanted to. I suppose you could go all beef. Take and cube this up. I only need 3 pounds and 2 pounds. So let me get started with that, and I'll bring you right back. All right, I've got all the meat cubed up. It's ready to run through the meat grinder. We're going to grind this meat up, and then we're going to season it. And we're going to add some cheese and things like that. But I want to talk just a minute about the sponsor of this video, PS Seasoning. Look right here, this is what I'm adding into the sausage today. This is their Philly cheesesteak seasoning. What I love about this is everything is already worked out for you, the correct amounts of everything. This will do up to 25 pounds. I'm only doing 5 pounds. So their conversion on this is 1 tablespoon per pound. So 5 tablespoons of this will be going into the sausage. Now I will take this, I will re-vacuum pack it into my chamber vac to preserve freshness on this for a later date. Now check PS Seasonings out. They have just some really out of the box type seasonings. What I mean by that, they have really well thought this stuff out. And you're going to be seeing a lot of this. They have a lot of sausage kits. They have a lot of things for sausage making. Now this is not the package that these come in. I just rinsed these hog casings. Those come from PS Seasoning. I've got them soaking in some lukewarm water, and we'll be putting that into play here shortly. But anyway, check out PS Seasonings and just check out all their rubs, all their seasonings. Like I said, you're going to be seeing a lot more of them coming. And also, there's a smoker coming real soon. And the smoker is primarily going to be used for smoking sausage. It's going to be for making beef jerky, bacon, things of that nature. And I'm really stoked about that one. Got my meat grinder all set up here. As you can see, there's a frost on this thing. It's ice cold, and that's what you want. The meat was in the freezer for the last 20 minutes. It's ice cold. You want to keep all this cold. It's not only easier on the grinder, but it stops the like connective tissue and things like that from shredding on you. It stops the melting of the fat, you know, and smearing, as they call it. It prevents all that. It just does a whole lot better job if you get everything ice cold. I've stressed that on other videos where I've ground meat. So let's turn this grinder on. Ice and cold, new grinder, by the way. And we're just going to start feeding this meat in. I got it going through a 1/8 inch plate. And here we go. All I'm doing is just dropping it in the chute. I'm not even having to push anything. Now I'll take a look at it once I get all this ground, and I'll see if I want to run it through a second time to create some more of that protein extraction. It really does give it a better mix if you run it through twice. It only takes a few minutes. And we're done. So I think after one run through the 1/8 inch plate, we got plenty of protein extraction. By the time I work this with my hands and knead it like you would a dough, it's going to get even better. So I'm going to take and remove the grinder out of my way. and we're going to add some seasoning, go from there. So as I mentioned earlier, 1 tablespoon of seasoning per pound. We got 5 pounds of meat, which is 3 pounds of pork, 2 pounds of beef. I've got my seasoning already measured out. This is 5 tablespoons. It's got a really good smell to it. Half a cup of water. You would normally get, actually it's just a little under a half a cup. For 25 pounds, you would use roughly 2 cups of water, anywhere from 2 to 3, but you would start with 2. So all we're going to do now is just take and knead this in, really good mix. I do have a meat mixer, but this is a small batch, 5 pounds, and that's a 25-pound mixer I have, so I didn't even want to dirty it up. It won't take but a minute to work this by hand. It's very similar to like kneading dough, actually. With kneading dough, you're trying to build the gluten in it. And with the meat, not only are you trying to get all the seasonings mixed in, but you're trying to create that protein extraction and make it sticky and tacky. All right, I'm going to keep working this for around 5 minutes until I get it where I want it. I'll be honest with you, it's actually looking pretty good. Got to go a little bit more. I've got this meat where I want it at. What I'm adding now is some cheddar cheese, some high temp cheddar cheese. Now you can get this high temp cheese in all kinds of flavors. They make it in provolone, which would have been ideal for this. They have mozzarella, the cheddar as you see right here. Now for the amount of meat that I have, if I calculated it correct, it's going to take about half this 1 pound bag, about half a pound. It ain't got to be exact. We're just going to dump it in there. And we're going to get this a final mix by mixing all that cheese in. They supplied a little Ziploc bag for this, so back into the freezer this goes. It's all frozen when it gets here, and just keep it in your freezer until it's time to use. All right, from here we're going to take and add this meat into my stuffer. This is a 5 pound capacity stuffer, and that's exactly what we got here, 5 pounds of meat. Now one thing you want to do is take and push this in really good, push out any air that will prevent air from getting into your sausage as much as possible. Just keep filling and pushing. Let's put our container in. Now one thing I want to do is I got some lubricant. This is actually duck fat. I just want to spray this horn, lubricate it somewhat. All right, I'm actually going to push this meat to the end of this tube here. And here we go. That's pushing all the air out of this tube. We're going to hold right there. All right, now I took these casings out of the bag. They were stored in a saline, salty solution, and I pulled them out one by one, and I've rinsed them off very well. Been soaking them in this warm water. All right, so there's one here. Now it has been a minute or two since I've done sausage, but you want to find the end of it right there, just like we got here. Go ahead and put just a little bit of water in there. That's going to help a couple of things. So take that casing, put a little water in there. That's going to help straighten it out as it goes. Plus, if you have any ruptures in this casing, you'll know about it. You just want to slide this on. Oh yeah, that duck fat on that tube is really making this go on easily. All right, right here at the end, we're going to tie us a knot. Get our casings out of the way. Our board off. All right, so before I start this, I want to explain. Now, you could do this all in one link and roll it into links after the fact, but with 5 pounds, I think it's better and easier if you'll do one link at a time, and you don't run the risk of rupturing the casing as bad either. I really enjoy doing this. It's been a while, just busy with other things, but this is so gratifying when it's all said and done. Tie us another knot. Let's push this back. Let's go again. I think I'm gonna make the next one a little bit bigger, which is accomplished by holding a little bit more pressure. Really fill that casing up. That's looking pretty good right there. Got them all stuffed. This is our final product. Well, it's not exactly final. From here it goes on the grill. I'll see you outside at the Weber. All right, I've got the Weber fired up. The way I'm doing this is I've got my charcoal laid in here. I'll start it on one end. So typically once this gets up to temperature, and it should be close now, this will run around 250 to 275. I'm not even going to monitor it. What we're going to do is just lay these sausages over here on the indirect side. And by the way, I had some meat left over that I dug out of the stuffer, and I didn't stuff. I could have got like 2 more links, I reckon, but I took that meat and I took the extra inside the stuffer, and I just put that in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer, and we can make bratwurst patties out of that. All right, I think we are just about done here. I had these pretty much done. I added some post oak right here, and that was just to add a little bit more color to it, and a little bit of smoke flavor. Now I had a puncture on one of these, and this was a sacrificial sausage where I've been temping them. And since that was blown out, I went ahead and temped that, but the rest of them look pretty good and plump. It's got a nice color on it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap these up in foil, gonna bring them inside, and let me show you what we're gonna do with these. All right, let's go ahead and put this thing together. What I've got going in is some beef tallow. Now I rendered this myself from brisket fat. It's just pure beef fat. We're gonna go in with about that much, let that get hot. All right, I've got 1 whole onion going in. This is a yellow onion. You can use white, Valdeo, just whatever you like. I've also got 1 bell pepper going in. We're just going to saute that in this beef tallow. All right, we're going to add a little salt to it. Got to season your veggies. All right, now while I'm letting this finish, I'm going to lower the heat a little bit. Keep them frying. I'm going to get another pan, and we're going to melt some cheese, make a little quick provolone cheese sauce. All right, so what I've done is I put just enough water to cover the bottom. That's it. Into that, I'm going in with a ½ teaspoon of sodium citrate. Got another video out where I explain what sodium citrate is. Basically, it's salts that's derived from citrus fruit. It's completely 100% natural, but it makes a great emulsifier for making a cheese sauce. You don't have to build a roux with the flour and the cream and the milk and all that stuff. Just add that with some water and you're up and running. All right, so I'm gonna let that heat up. We're gonna mix that in and then add our cheese. That's already dissolved. So what I'm gonna do now is start adding this provolone cheese in here. This is a whole pack, which is 8 ounces. I put a ½ teaspoon of sodium citrate for 8 ounces of cheese. Just a little bit of water. We got it on a kind of a low heat. We're just going to slowly let this melt and turn into our cheese sauce. All right, our peppers and onions are exactly where I want them at. Got a nice color on them. They're not overcooked. They're tender, but not super tender. Our cheese sauce looks fantastic. Oh yeah. Let's put one of these bad boys together. All right, to start this, it starts with a bun, and what I have is a sausage bun. That's what it's called on the pack. Now I did have to slice this in the middle. We're gonna lay that right there. All right, we're gonna take some of this provolone, piping hot wiener. There we go. That is hot. Come on, lay down for me. There we go. All right, I'm gonna bring it over here. I'm gonna get some peppers and onions, bring you right back. That's what it looks like. And here we go. Now you can take and drizzle more cheese on top of this top if you want to. I'm just going with what's underneath it. Here we go. I know this is going to be fantastic. If it tastes anything like it smells in this house, here we go. Great flavors on this. Does it taste like a Philly cheesesteak sandwich? No, it doesn't. It tastes like a sausage dog with those Philly cheesesteak flavors going on is what it tastes like. Excellent with the peppers and onions, the provolone cheese. You can do this any way you wanted. My son was sitting there eating one of these earlier and was sitting there saying that he thought it'd be really good with like a mustard, a German mustard, or something like that, and I'm sure it would be. As far as the sausage, it's a really mild flavor. It's not overpowering. It's absolutely delicious. We got a good mix on this. The texture is just right on it, and it has a very nice snap and color to it. Check out PS Seasoning if you're interested in doing any kind of sausages. They have a lot to choose from, and like I said, it's pre-mixed for a certain amount of weight of meats, and you can do like I did and just add according to their charts just how much, like in my case 5-pound batch instead of 25 pounds. In a way, I wish I'd have went with 25 pounds. I could have vacuum sealed this and put it in the freezer. Got a big chest freezer over there. Just stack them up. But there's more sausage videos coming. Next week, we're going to be doing another one. Probably, if the smoke arrives, I'll be doing the southern style sausage, a smoked sausage. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, smoke your ribs.